Tech Addicts 2025, Episode 19, A Galaxy of Honor. This week, there's leaks on the Samsung Galaxy Tab S11 Ultra. Honor have a couple of new devices on sale internationally. YouTube might be altering some shorts with AI, and the new manufacturer enters the Google TV market. Hello and welcome to the Tech Addicts podcast. I would be your host, Gareth, and I am joined as ever by Mr. Ted Salmon. Ted, how are you?
I'm very sad because it's the season finale and we will be missing until October. But I'm very pleased also that it's lagging down with rain here and it's 15 degrees centigrade and it's 12 degrees centigrade during the night. And after last week's heat wave we were whinging about, it's just completely, this climate is so bonkers, isn't it? It swings where it changes like the wind.
Okay. Yeah, the weather does change like the wind. Well, it's particularly sunny outside. It's 23 degrees here.
Oh wow.
Yeah, well, I'm not that far from you, so there must either my weather's going toward you or your weather's coming toward me.
You can keep it.
I think we're going to be getting your weather later on today. My wife was supposed to go walk the Mourns today, but she's not doing that. She's doing it next week instead, because the weather was to be so poor. And for those who don't know, the Mourns is a collection of mountains that we have here in Northern Ireland. We have two sets, the Mourns and the Sperrins. And they're not terribly high in international standards. Be cool if there was one really, really tall one.
Yes.
You can see from them all around.
Here ends the geography lesson.
Yeah. I'll stop that. So, what's new with you? Anything new or exciting to report?
Tomorrow, Monday, is the first of the new look PSCs. So we're looking forward to that. Joe Hickey and me are taking the lead on it, as you probably know, as most people will know. And our first show, we're having Malcolm Bryant as a guest. He's an Android developer, which is really interesting. He's been on many times before. But yes, it's the new look PSC. So buckle in, because Steve Litchfield used to keep PSC to an hour, but given my record and your record, we're probably, if it's anything like Tech Addicts and Projector Room, it'll be 2 hours.
I don't know that people will complain about that. I think people will be quite happy to listen to the phone show for a bit longer.
There is mixed reaction. Whenever we ask that question, that it's about 50-50. Half the people say, make it as long as you want. And the other half say, no, an hour's good because it fits in with my dog walking or my jogging or whatever. And if it's too long, I have to listen in two parts and then I forget and all that sort of thing. But anyway,
just leave all the crap stuff to the last hour.
Yeah. I have actually changed it around. I decided to put the guests' stuff first and then put the news at the end. So you're quite right. That will mean that the most interesting part of the show will be what the guest is saying, and they'll be up first. So that is good. Another also a quick mention for Gary Clark from our MeWe group, who has put out a Red Magic Astra gaming tablet review on YouTube, and it's hosted over at Average Dad 2. And I said I'd give a shout out for his new channel, Average Dad 2, which is the new sister channel to the main Average Dad channel. Team members, he says, can post videos, but Gary will be posting most of the content. He'll also be doing written gear reviews for the main Average Dad store. I didn't know that Average Dad had a store, but apparently they specialise in importing phones. And if you click on the link in the show notes there, you can see that they mainly try and get stuff from the Chinese market, import it, and then sell it to people here, which is really interesting. Anyway, Gary will be leaving Cool Smartphone to focus on all this, and he's trying to make it his full-time job. So good luck to you, Gary, and anyone that wants to subscribe to the Average Dad 2 channel will be helping him.
Yeah, good luck to you, Gary. Then you're pretty much there, to be honest. Looking at your channels, it all looks really nice. So cool. I'll be watching those.
Yeah.
Groovy. All right. Well, there's news afoot, and we could go into it. But I was just thinking, actually, if you've got Malcolm Bryant on the phone show, you might be worth your while having a wee ask about what he thinks about the whole change to Android. Now Google is stopping the side loading of apps.
Yeah, he's got that lined up.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I've seen what he's put in the recording notes, and that's up front and centre. Yep, so tune in.
Brilliant. I'll look forward to listening to that. We won't mention it here because it's far too sensible, mature topic for tech addicts.
Far too phony.
Yeah. All right. Well, keeping away from phones absolutely altogether, we're going to talk about tablets first, and that would be the Samsung Galaxy Tab S11 Ultra, because the specs have been leaked, revealing a powerful device with a 14.6-inch AMOLED display, MediaTek Dimensity 9400 Plus processor, and 12 gigabytes of RAM. The tablet is also expected to be IP68, so that's the highest you can get when it comes to waterproofing and dustproofing, and have an 11,600 milliamp hour battery with 45 watts of charging. It'll launch with Android 16 and One UI 8. There are other features like a dual rear camera. There's 4 speakers, which as I think that's somewhat standard when it comes to Galaxy Tabs now. And it's got Dolby Atmos built in, and it's got that rather nice metallic body that measures a whopping 5.1 millimeters thick. That's like a credit card. Or that's like 4 credit cards stacked on top of each other. The exact launch date is pretty much unknown at the moment, but Samsung have a scheduled launch date for IFA in Berlin in September. So there's all to look forward to at that time, despite the fact everything you need to know about it has just been leaked. Ted, what do you think?
Apparently, IFA is starting on the 5th of September, which is Friday this week. And there is a Samsung event also on the 4th. So the day before IFA starts, there's going to be an event where they're going to be launching or talking about all sorts of other stuff. So I'm not sure about this 14.6-inch AMOLED kind of giant tablet thing. I get it. If someone is decided to ditch desktop computing and say, right, I'm going to get rid of my PC. I don't need a PC, and my Galaxy tablet is going to be my hub and my portal and my everything, and it's going to sit on my desk, and it's a 14.6-inch screen, which is basically the same size as a decent sized laptop, and I'll put a keyboard on my desk, and it'll have the benefit of being able to be taken away wherever I go, as you say, even into rain showers. But personally, for me,
and you can hold it over your head instead of an umbrella.
Yay! But personally, for me, and also it's got a micro SD card, I think you said, and up to a terabyte of storage. I couldn't change my life to such a degree that this would be a replacement. And if it's not a replacement, then what is it? What are you going to use such a giant tablet for? An extra TV in the bedroom? Don't know. What do you think?
Well, I'm in half a mind, because there's times whenever I sit down with my tablet, which is 11 inches. It's not the Ultra. I decided not to go for the Ultra, and there were days where I was like, if only I'd taken the Ultra, I would have gone with the Ultra. But then there's days that I'm glad I don't have the Ultra. So I think it's kind of, even if you have the Ultra, there's going to be days where you're going, oh, this is too big. If you're sitting on the bus or the train, and everyone's looking at you because you're sitting there with a widescreen TV in front of you, essentially. But it's one of those things that you're probably better off having the larger size for the days that you regret not getting it, if you can afford it. So yeah, But we'll look forward to IFA, just to get the third pronunciation of it there. Um, and that's Thursday that we're going to hear, hopefully, some things about this from Berlin. Right.
Indeed.
Exciting.
And other Sammy stuff. Yep.
Well, in that other Sammy stuff, the Samsung is looking to expand their update policy on more devices, and we're not just talking phones here. That include smart appliances, which is something that I had read quite recently that people were getting annoyed about. The company will be providing 7 years of updates to Wi-Fi enabled appliances that launched in 2024 or newer. So if you bought it before that, tough shizzle. Starting with refrigerators, or fridges as we call it here in the UK, washers, or dishwashers I believe we call them here, but then washing machines as well. So I'd say it's probably washing machines more so than dishwashers. But dryers, which would be tumble dryers that we call them here, and air conditioners that we don't tend to use very often, but I know some offices have them, and
static caravans.
like them. Yes. The update will bring the One UI platform and apps such as Bixby and SmartThings to the devices, providing a consistent experience and peace of mind to users. The update policy may be skipped due to hardware restrictions on some devices, they do note. Ted, do you have any other devices in your household that do not be phone or tablet related that do have a Samsung branding and may benefit from the 7 years of updates on these devices?
No.
No, right, okay.
I don't have a single one. And I was saying in the group that this whole One UI thing, one of the things they're pushing is the family care thing, which would be really good for my dad, because my dad lives alone now, and if I had family care set up with him, he's got a Samsung phone. There's some real good benefits going on in there, and that's part of the smart things setup. And you just have to have tons of stuff. You see, what the family care thing does is that it tells right. My dad doesn't open his fridge in the morning, which he always does.
How does he get into it?
Eh?
How does he get into it?
So my dad doesn't open his fridge one morning, which he always does because he's making his cup of tea or whatever. And so that will alert me and say, your dad has not opened the fridge. You better check to see if he's all right. Or if he hasn't turned on the, I don't know, the toaster or whatever Samsung thing that you... So it picks up patterns of behaviour, and that family care is great. But the point I was making was that my dad, who likes the stuff he's got, would have to replace all of his household appliances with Samsung branded stuff, which I suppose you could do over time if you had an eye on doing this. But you know, to go out and do that overnight, you'd need to spend, you know, like 50 grand or something probably, and set it all up. But yeah, it's all very clever, and it's more lock-in for Samsung, isn't it? This smart things setup is really smart and it's good, and I do the tracking with him on that as well, and it's really good. But yeah, you just need to invest heavily in Samsung to make the most of this.
No, I agree. Yes, I did almost buy a Samsung washing machine the last time I bought a washing machine when my washing machine packed in. I'm not going to say washing machine again because I've said washing machine far too many times in this podcast. But whenever I bought the washing machine, which I'm not going to say again because I'm sure people are sick of me saying the words washing and machine together as a washing machine. But I bought a Hoover washing machine, which, oh, there we go again, which is downstairs. And I didn't go for the Samsung washing machine, the Samsung thing, because I did just think, oh, right, okay, well, it's got all these features built into it. But for how long? And I'm paying an extra for them now. And I couldn't see any details in... Well, you have warranty, obviously, and some warranties are like 10 years, like I got with my Hoover. And the Samsung didn't have... I think it maybe only had a 1-year warranty or something. And I was like, well, if they stop supporting the app that's built into this for notifying you of things and setting up various different programs, then is that you pay extra for it for a year and then no, we're not doing this anymore, sod it. So I think that's peace of mind for people like me who are going out to buy a tumble dryer or a refrigerator or an air conditioner or something else that washes your clothes, and they'll be able to uh, make an informed purchase and think, right, well, this is going to last 7 years at least, because I think that's what people expect their washing machine to last. Damn it, uh, to last for about 7 years,
Yeah, except that
or two if it's a Pico. Sorry,
it,
Pico, just kidding.
in the real world, these sort of TVs last for much longer than 7 years anyway.
Yes.
If you want them to, unless you want to upgrade, of course. But you know, these kind of devices, yes, they can go wrong. But the washing machine that's in my dad's house, for example, it must be at least 10 years old, if not more, and there's nothing wrong with it. It works fine. So this whole 7 years thing, but I think it's more about the smart things and the One UI and baking One UI into all their devices and making them all talk to each other. I think that's more the thing, but you just need to invest.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's true. But I think whenever it comes to TVs, it's a wee bit different because whenever they discontinue the TV system or just don't never update it again, it's not hard for you to go out and get a Roku or something like that and plug it in. Whereas a Samsung smart utility system like this is going to be a lot more difficult for you to be able to get some kind of replacement system for, if at all. So if they stop updating the firmware, and you move to Wi-Fi 6 or something in your house and it doesn't support Wi-Fi 6, then you can't use that feature anymore that you paid a little extra for. So good on you, Samsung. But obviously, hardware restrictions will be skipped. The generation if your tumble dryer doesn't have the appropriate Wi-Fi card inside of it.
That's their get out of jail card they threw into the conditions. By the way, if we fancy skipping a year during this 7, then we can.
And also, it has to be launched in 2024 or newer. So
Yeah, yeah.
the one that I did look at a couple of years ago, that's not supported anymore. So I made the right decision. And the Hoover one has 10 years of warranty. So if anything breaks on it, I can go to them and they'll ship me the part that needs to be fixed.
Indeed.
Anyway, yes. Moving on. Honor. The Honor Magic Pad 3 and the Honor Magic Book Art 14 2025 are now available internationally. The Honor Magic Pad 3 features a rather nice 13.3-inch 160Hz display. It's got a Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 system on chip inside of it, alongside 512 gigabytes of storage and 16 gigabytes of RAM, and is priced at a whopping £600, which, whenever you think about it, taking into account that the company we were just talking about, that's not a bad price, because I think that company would have charged a bit more for those specs. The Magic Book Art 14 2025 is a laptop that comes with an Intel Core Ultra 7 255H CPU with 32 gigabytes of RAM and a 1 terabyte SSD. It's priced at £1,500 in the UK, and you can get it for around about €1,700 in continental Europe. Ted, what do you think of these?
I'm on a bit of an Honor roll at the moment because I've got this Honor phone, and in many ways I'm quite impressed. Well, more on that on PSC tomorrow, but there are some things I quite like about Honor, and the Magic Pad 3 does look like an interesting option. It is quite expensive, but it does hook into all the other. Well, it's not expensive compared to similarly sized Samsung gear, for example, but it's more expensive than you could hope to get a Android tablet for if you weren't so wanting such big specs on it. And again, perhaps we go back to this whole thing about desktop replacement for some people. But it does look good, and it works with the Magic Pencil or pen or whatever it's called, which is cool. And yeah, it's been available in China for a while, but it's just been the news here is it's made internationally available, so we should be able to get it here any minute, if not already. The other one, the Art 14, yeah, I mean that's a Windows laptop, which is nicely spec'd and reasonably priced, I guess, for what you get with it. But yeah, I'm quite interested in this whole Honor thing, but mainly because I got this phone in my hand, and there are some things I like about it, and some things I hate. Tune in tomorrow.
Yeah, yeah. There is a bit of a push at them at the moment. Maybe they see a bit of an opening where people are looking to purchase, slightly cheaper than the bigger brands. People are maybe moving away from Apple and Samsung because they are very expensive, and in the current climate, people can't be affording to throw huge amounts of money at an upgrade every year or every other year. So they're now starting to entertain the smaller companies where they're getting a very healthy lifestyle and a very healthy level of tech for not as much money. So keep going on her, keep that push going. I'm certainly going to entertain you whenever it comes to changing my device
Yeah,
later no, the start of next year. Yeah.
yeah, it's good stuff. I think it's nicely made, but we'll see where they go.
Yeah. All right. Well, coming in with a rather nice new speaker is Marshall with the
Hey,
Bromley 750, and this is a big speakery system that features a 500-watt amplification, 360 degrees true stereophonic sound, and a battery life of over 40 hours. The speaker also comes with stage lighting, multiple input options, and Auracast technology for the easy connection of various devices and things like that if you're looking to cast your phone. It's available to pre-order now at £900 and is due to be released globally on September 23rd. Ted, is your pre-order in? Are you all excited about it? When are we going to have a big party in your place?
this is called the Bromley 750, by the way. Marshall seem to continue to name their products after English towns, trying to con us that it's not Chinese, but it's actually British still. It's a beast, isn't it? There's a picture here on the What Hi-Fi website of somebody pulling it along on its wheels with a handle sticking out, and it's an absolute beast. And I'm sure that it sounds fantastic. It looks just more like a Marshall amplifier to me, not a portable speaker. And apparently it's got a whacking great big battery in it. The battery, I read somewhere that the battery can be replaced. It's user replaceable. I'm not quite sure what the benefit of that is, except that if it eventually goes tits up, you can put another one in yourself, assuming that Marshall still sell them. Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's not for me. I wouldn't have the use for such a beast. But you can just see some kids getting down with the groove. Um,
And Ted just likes to salivate over these sorts of things
yeah, I
and
love the
look
whole.
for a reason to have it.
Yeah, the hardware's just lovely, and the way they make all the knurled knobby things, and everything's very manual to tweak things. And yeah, we banged on about Marshall, or I have many times. But yes, it looks to me like a guitar amp, and it's on wheels, and it's got a pull handle like a Samsonite, what are they called, suitcase.
Oh yeah, that's right, Samsonite. Dumb and Dumber, yeah, Samsonite, yeah.
Mhm.
Right, okay. Well, that's cool. That's something that some people are going to buy, but not the widespread, I wouldn't say.
Mhm.
Okay, well, back over to Anchor. It's been a while since we featured a new exciting Anchor bit, and this is called the Soundcore Work, which is a portable AI voice recorder. Actually, come to think of it, I saw a video on this on YouTube recently, and I'd forgotten about it. It's a voice recorder from Anchor's a sub brand of Soundcore, and it offers AI powered transcription, summary generation, and highlights of important notes. The device is fairly slim, it's pretty square in its design, and it's got a detachable microphone and is expected to be released for around about $100 in the US fairly soon, if not already. It's unclear as to whether or not there will be a subscription from the article here, but it will require no, sorry, whether or not a subscription is required. I can't read my own writing. For for the AI tools, and it's similar to Anker's previous Power Conf H700 headset. Um, but what do you think of this, Ted? Would you have much of a use for this? I think I might actually.
I don't quite really fully understand what they're after with it. Does all that stuff work inside it, or
Yeah.
does it go to a phone with an app? And if it doesn't, then why would you not just have a Bluetooth microphone on your phone? Because your phone would be powerful enough to do this and more with an appropriate microphone. I don't quite get where they're pitching this, to be honest. I get all the transcription and summarizing tools and blah blah blah, but you can do that with, like, I don't know, Google Recorder app or any number of apps that you can put on a phone. I don't see why it needs to. Or maybe they're after this whole rabbit thing. Was that thing called a rabbit?
Yeah.
That fell over and didn't work. Perhaps they're having another go at that sort of thing, which you just I don't know. I just don't quite get it. I don't think what they're after.
Well, because it's compared to that other device, the Power Conf H700 headset, that obviously has some kind of some software suite on a computer somewhere. I don't
Right.
necessarily think it's on a phone. I would say that it probably stores it all into a memory card or some sort of storage that's inside the device. Maybe it's got 256 gigabytes, say, for example, built into it, and then you can set it in the middle of a meeting and just record everything, and then you take it home, hook it up, and it brings it all into some sort of software store and or some software solution, and builds everything to give you a nice AI summary of everything that was talked about. You've got the full transcript. You've probably got it all written out. That's what a transcript is. The full audio recording, and then there can be highlights, and then it'll change between voice coloring and things like that, so you can tell who said what and when and why and
But
how
you can
long
do that
they're
all on a
talking about.
phone. I don't see why you
can
need
do.
a separate little block of tech to do that with.
Because sometimes the company that you're working for might want you to use this as opposed to your own personal phone. For example, I
Oh,
work for the
right.
government, and I couldn't
Okay.
take my phone in and do this,
Ah,
but we could be provided this by the powers that be to go
okay.
and sit down, and that's where the Power Conf jobby, the H700 headset, comes into it. Because I think you were even looking at buying one of those, weren't you? One of those uh, conference call devices that Anchor did once before.
But no, that's a speaker. But yeah, a similar
Yeah,
thing.
but
The Comp 8, the Comp H700 is actually a headset. It's
yeah,
like an operator's headset. Whereas the other one that I got was this thing you stick on the middle of the table. I guess the clue here is in the name of the device, because it's called Work. and I think you're probably quite right that they're aiming this at commercial purposes, not the likes of us.
yeah. No, it's a lovely looking little device, and I'm sure that it'll probably feature quite heavily on people's favorite gadgets outside of the workplace as well, where they'll be able to bring it along to, if you're the first thing that pops into my mind is role playing games, where people could actually record the transcript of their role playing games, where you get a bunch of people sitting in a circle going through an adventure or something like that, or just having a meeting about, neighborhood watch or something like that, and you can record the whole thing and see who committed to doing what when. It
Okay,
just gives you that little bit of backup. But for $100, that's fine.
okay.
Or you could leave it in your house recording whenever you go out and listen to your animals talking to each other. Or if someone breaks in, it could be added security. There's lots of applications.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Okay, tell us what YouTube are doing, because they're using AI alterations, to shorts.
Well, a few people have noticed that when they were putting YouTube content creators on YouTube were putting YouTube videos up, and some people have looked at them and they thought that doesn't quite look like me. My hair looks strange, said one user. Um, my features are terribly over sharpened. I didn't do that, says another user. Um, and skin textures are unnaturally smooth. Um, and fabric folds look exaggerated. And occasional warpings going on with small details such as ears.
Okay.
And so basically what was going on here was that YouTube are testing out some sort of automatic. But the story is that they're testing this out on people's content and not telling them. So
Yeah.
the logical kind of end of this is like, what are they going to do next? So we're producing audio podcasts, we're putting them up on YouTube on our channels. Are they going to come in and start automatically AI deleting swear words or deleting when you plug Apple or Microsoft, Google will come in and say, oh, we'll have that, take that out. So
Or they
only
could
if you
change you into a lady, and it could be Gareth and Thelma.
exactly. Ooh, nice. But it turns out, I think, that their crime was just not telling people they were doing it or inviting people into a testing bed where they test it out. They just kind of, the AI just chose which ones they were going to do it with, and so everyone's pissed off with that.
I'm sure, absolutely, you'd be a bit annoyed if, well, if you put up a video and you're not vain, but then it looks like you've gone and AI enhanced yourself, and to your audience, then you look quite vain.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to either make, it's like those filters that you put on the selfie cameras of phones to make you look prettier.
Yeah.
And you can kind of tell where those have been used because, hang on a second, you had a spot this morning and there's not one on your cheek now. You vain bastard, you. So Google could be doing that. And if they were to start doing that, that is full image manipulation without seeking requests of the person who originally owned it, which is something that, even like Donald Trump is talking about with the fake news and things. That's not on. I don't agree with that in the slightest. And I can't imagine anyone would. And the fact that someone up in Google okayed this is a bit worrying.
Mind you, they might say that it's ours. I'm sure that in the user, the agreement, they'll say, this is not your content, you've given it to Google, so we can do what we like with it. Sod off.
Yeah, that's the whole Adobe thing, isn't it? Where they've turned around and said that if you've used any of our tools and you're on a picture, it actually belongs to us.
Exactly.
That's a bit sickening, and if they were to do that, that would be a public outcry, and YouTube would be boycotted entirely by everyone.
Indeed.
Yes. All right. Well, I'm not going conspiracy in this particular show, but Ted, I'm going to let you lead the way in IFA's leak that reveals new details about Motorola and Lenovo's massive things. Do tell us about their massive things.
You've now said IFA, so that's a fourth way of
it is, yes,
saying it. Motorola are going to be launching some stuff in IFA, and the interesting thing probably is the and finally, which is a couple of wild concepts that they're bringing to the floor. One is a laptop with a screen that rotates between portrait and landscape orientations, known as Project Pivo. There must be more to that because laptops already can go between landscape and portrait as far as I'm concerned. We've seen lots of concepts of that going on. Anyway, we'll see what that brings. And the other is called Project Ballet, which is an AI-powered laptop with a motorized gimbal that adjusts its position for maximum user comfort. I don't quite get what they mean by that. I don't know how... A gimbal, to me, is something you hold and it keeps things level. I'm not sure how does that fit in with a laptop. I don't quite... An AI powered
for whenever
laptop.
you rotate the screen and it automatically updates it.
Okay. So you're moving, you're walking around the park with your laptop open, doing a selfie video. and not using a phone. Anyway, we'll see what that brings. The news, which I'll mention more tomorrow in PSC, is that the Motorola Edge 60 Neo. We did wonder this year if they were going to actually update the Edge 50 Neo, my phone of the year from last year, but it looks like they're going to, alongside the Moto G06 and G06 Power, the budget end couple of phones. But the interesting bit is the Edge 60 Neo, as far as I'm concerned. For you, there is a which I think we covered before, the gaming device, the Legion Go,
Yes.
which is the second generation. I think we didn't we cover that before. I think we probably
I
did.
don't know we covered this particular one, but yeah, we have it. It's not really for me.
Okay. And then there's more ThinkPads. I've got a ThinkPad here. I bought my ThinkPad second hand, and it's great. It's a really nice laptop, and it's still got the little red nipple in the middle of the keyboard, which is really dinky and iconic. And there's various other. There's a P14S and P16S. Lots of laptops coming, which will no doubt be very powerful. There's an X9 Aura edition in Glacier White. Very, very nice. And some tablets, IdeaPad Plus and Yoga Tab. So Yoga Tab, if you remember, the ones we used to have before, which had that kickstand on the back. Do you remember those? Yoga,
Yeah.
from Lenovo, and they were really
That's
nice.
right,
There's a couple of big widescreen monitors that you might like. ThinkVision and Legion Pro super wide monitors.
Very nice.
There's a new gaming PC, which is a Lenovo Tower LOQ or something, and so that'll be there as well. There's a picture of on this website on Android Headlines. There's actually a picture of the laptop with the screen that goes from landscape to portrait. It looks really odd. Can you see that right down the bottom?
Oh, can yeah. Exactly. It's right at the very top as well. It's the first image that you can.
Oh, is it?
But yeah, it just basically looks like someone has set a tablet in portrait on top of a laptop that's in landscape.
Very odd. Anyway, all of that's coming to IFA on Friday, the 5th of September.
It'll also be at IFA as well. Yeah. Cool. That's good looking tech, actually. I don't know about the pre-build Lenovo computers. I have a bit of a feeling that they will be underpowered and overpriced, but they're trying to tap into that gaming market for people who just don't trust themselves to be able to go out and build themselves a gaming rig. You can. Trust me. If I can, you can. So go for it. You can do it.
Oh no. Guess what's
Oh,
happened?
no. What?
The rain stopped and the bloody sun's come out. Unbelievable, isn't it? It's unbelievable.
Well, it hasn't rained here, so you must be getting my weather.
Curses.
Yeah, I'm sure my wife's going to be ripping because she decided not to go up in the mornings today, but she could have because it's been lovely and sunny all day. It's a bit windy, mind you. It's a bit windy. You might be able to hear it behind me at the skylight, making noise as it comes through the gaps. All right, the next story is the last story in the history of stories. This is a new TV box that's arriving from Acer.
Oh.
Acer are making a TV box. It's a Google TV box with a range of ports, a very nice array of ports, I have to say. It's got USB-A, USB-C, HDMI, Ethernet, and more. There you go, that's the range of ports. The device features... Now, don't take these as gospel because I don't think that they're right, according to this article. It's got a quad-core Amlogic CPU, which is a 4 gigabyte CPU. It generally requires 4 gigabytes of RAM to run nicely. This article says 2 gigabytes of RAM. Other reports have been 3 gigabytes of RAM, but I think we're going to see this with 4 gigabytes of RAM. It has Wi-Fi 6 built into it, and the device design is typical of Google's reference design, with a nondescript white box and a remote control. The box is currently available for pre-order in South Africa, but a broader release is unclear, but it could be likely depending on how well it sells there, given that Acer is just good at getting stuff out worldwide. So yeah, we could have a new player in the Google TV corner because, to be honest, today I think especially in the UK, the pickings are quite slim for a decent TV box. You've got Apple TV, you've got Nvidia Shield, there is Fire TV if you want the pain. Thomson do a pretty good one. I think there's On or something like that as well, which is basically Thomson. Maybe I can't remember. I looked into it recently and I thought I might get one of those Thomsons just to play with. But other than that, there's nothing really that I would say that you need to go out and get. You might be better off building yourself your own. But yeah, if it's Acer, it should sell quite well as well. So Ted, what do you think? Or would you be excited about an Acer TV box?
I do like these. I'm so baked into my Roku setup that I never consider anything else, particularly Google TV. But anyway, yeah, I'm sure that it's very good. I'm not quite sure. It's got a micro SD card slot and optical audio. I know what the optical audio is for, and the Ethernet or Ethernet to hook up to the Wi-Fi, obviously. HDMI out for your video and audio. Yep, okay, that's fine. The micro SD card slot, presumably, you can then just stuff that full of your MP4s or MKVs and use the TV remote control in order to, the menu system should give you access to whatever you've got on the card as well, should it? Is that the idea?
I'm hoping so, yeah.
Yeah.
There isn't a full list or confirmed list at the moment, but you can work your way around the image of the device, and you can see that there is a micro SD card on the back of it as well. Now the Nvidia Shield has a micro SD card, and it's purely for just expanding your storage. I can't comment on
Oh,
other ones, but I
right.
know
Okay.
Roku doesn't tend to. But there's no confirmation as to what storage is going to be built into this. It could be 8 gigabytes, it could be 16. At any rate, that's not a heck of a lot in this day and age. And if someone's looking to actually do a bit of retro gaming or something, because it is Android TV and you can put RetroWatch on there, then you're going to want to be able to expand the storage to be able to accommodate a few games there too. But it's got two USB-Cs. Having a look around the device, and I could see one of them is a DC.
One's for charging, isn't it? It's yeah.
Well, not powering. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, powering. Yeah.
But then optical is obviously going to be something that people want as well, to be able to plug into their sound system on their TV to give it the best possible chance at good sound.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I very much like this. I like the design as well. I think it looks very simple. The remote control looks like it might be fairly cheap and flimsy, but that could be just me from this image. But it could be a good quality remote control. But given it's their first foray into this form factor, then I reckon that it's probably going to be pretty good. Yeah.
One of these days, I'm going to turn my Google TV on and put and shut the Roku off and see how different Google TV is. I've just got to this place where Roku just does everything for me and it works, and I won't just leave it alone really because it's working. But yeah, I should play with the Google TV as well, because I've not only have I got Google TV baked into my TCL telly, but I've also got a Google TV dongle thingy as well, so I could be playing with it. I'm not, because the Roku's so good.
Yeah, I've moved a wee bit away from Roku because because of the war of the apps and things like that, and this isn't available on that, and I just survive on my Nvidia Shield TV, and I'll endure Google TV on one of the TVs I've got whenever I need to use that, but I try not to use it, to be honest, because I don't see it as terribly good. This, however, I could get rid of that Google TV and put this on instead. That's what I was entertaining that Thomson for, because it got fairly decent reviews. If it's got 4 gigabytes of RAM on this, then I'll be happy with this. Yeah.
All you need to do then is move to Johannesburg and you can get one.
Well, that's not that far away. I think they use 3-pin plugs as well, so you might be able to ship one over. It's possible. All right, moving into the banter section. It's a wee bit of a weird banter this week because I bought a new bit of tech and I thought I'd tell you all about what I'm doing with it. Ted, I haven't even discussed this with you, but it's something in your wheelhouse that you could do yourself.
Hmm.
I happen to notice a little deal on Amazon for a BOSGAME E2 mini PC, which was down from £230 to £170. I think £230 for the level of tech that's in it is a wee bit overpriced, but it's a limited time deal with 26% off, so I grabbed it. And there's a link in the show notes if you want to check it out yourself, because it might work for anyone out there. It's got a Ryzen 5 inside of it, which is a 3550H. I did some review checking and things like that to see what people think of this, and it got pretty good reviews when it first came out about 4 years ago. But today people are saying, oh, it hasn't aged well, but then what does in 4 years, to be honest? It's got 16 gigabytes of RAM and 512 gigs of NVMe SSD storage, which is upgradable. I'll note that both of them can be taken out and new stuff put in if you need to. It arrived with Windows on it as well, which I was a bit shocked at. I thought at this price, there's no way there's going to be Windows on there. But it was, but I got rid of that, thankfully, quickly, and put Exabon 2 on it, which is a version, or Exabon 2 Minimal on it, which is a really slimmed down operating system, and then put Casa OS over the top of it, which is it's not a full OS, it's more like a sort of overlay that allows you to do things really easily in Linux. That's designed for the Zima board, which was a sort of portable server that you can buy, that's actually around the same price as this. But I just thought I'll go with this because the Zima board's quite difficult to get your hands on, and the better versions of the Zima board can go for quite a bit of money. But Casa OS is a really nice little lean, very friendly and easy to use overlay that allows you to be able to host some of your services on it. So I've got it, and it's sitting beside me. It's quite nicely built. It is all plastic. There's no real metal to it at all, but it's a fairly decent amount of plastic. It's got a decent array of ports around it. There's two USBs on the back, one USB 2, one USB 3. There's Ethernet, some other stuff on the back that I can't see because I can't turn it round, but there is stuff on the back. There's two HDMI outs, a dedicated DC power supply, and some fan and cooling. Then on the front there's two USB 3s, a USB Type C, an audio jack for both microphone and speakers, and then a little reset switch as well, and then the big power button that lights up whenever it's on and turns off whenever it's off. So it's just your bog standard mini PC. It might not be as powerful as some of the ones that other people have, but it works, and it's actually quite nippy, especially whenever you put on such a lightweight operating system as Ubuntu. I'm hosting Casa OS, so what I've actually done is I've moved Plex from my Synology server onto this because it can handle more streams, and also it's got built-in Radeon NVIDIA graphics, so it can do a bit of transcoding as well, so that my daughter can access the Plex outside of the house. And my son can watch it too at the same time, and then we can watch it because we were getting a bit of buffering whenever the three of us were trying to access the Synology all at the same time, especially if there was any transcoding going on. So it runs really nicely. I've just put Nextcloud on yesterday. I'm running Home Assistant on it as well. I've got SyncThing doing its whole thing, and I've got Fresh RSS, which is a bit like Google's RSS reader. But your own sort of self-hosted one that allows you just to grab it. I can't believe how I suffered the Synology for so long using that, because it was pretty slow, but I just took it for granted, and now I click on things and they happen instantly on this wee mini PC, and it's nice. It works really nicely and quickly. So that's all I've got set up so far. I am thinking about maybe commuting some of the other stuff across to it. But I'll take things slowly. I don't want to bombard it too much with stuff straight away. But I'm really impressed with it. I didn't want anything that was kind of overkill. I just wanted to get a nice little device that was around about this price that can just handle stuff, and it can handle what I've thrown at it, and it runs really nicely. Currently, I'm looking at it, and I can see my son is streaming SpongeBob SquarePants off of it. The CPU is sitting at 2% at 38 degrees, and then the RAM is sitting at 14% at 12.6 gigabytes free. So it's nice. It is. It's nice. Ted, any questions?
I don't quite get this mini PC thing, I don't think, because I bought, in my time over the last, I don't know, 5 years, I bought the B-Link one, which has got an i5 5257U, and then I bought the Geekom Mini IT8, which has got an i5 8279U. On both of them, well, first of all, I tried the B-Link. I stripped the B-Link out and I put Linux on it. Windows gone, end of Windows. All it was trying to do was use the to do Linux Mint, and as I told you before, it was really slow and sluggish, and it was just painful to use. So I thought, right, okay, perhaps that B-Link is crap. I'll put it on the Geekom, and so I stick it on the Geekom, and it's not that much better really, even though it's got a better chipset. However, when I put the Linux on my laptop, it works beautifully well. So I just begin to wonder if, these mini PCs. You're saying that your new one, your BOSGAME, is working really well, but my experience so far is that they're just not as good as a dare I say proper PC or a laptop.
Well, it all depends on what you're using it for as well. I decided I wanted something to host my Docker things. I have got a bunch of things in Docker on my Synology, and the more I put onto the Synology, the more it struggles. The Synology has a Ryzen 1650 or something. I can't remember. It's a really limp Ryzen chip inside of it with no onboard graphics at all. So pepping that up, I knew what I wanted a device to do, and I wanted it to run a really lightweight incarnation of Linux. And I dabbled with Ubuntu Server, which doesn't have a graphical user interface, and decided to go with Xubuntu because it does have a graphical user interface, but it doesn't actually have anything on it at all. And even whenever you install Xubuntu Server, if you try to click on the web browser, it'll go, you're going to need to go and get me a web browser. The only thing it has is the GUI and terminal, and that's about it. So CASA then becomes the GUI on it. So there's nothing really running on it other than some Docker instances and CASA. And I don't think that I would want to try to run a full operating system on this. It would probably do it all right. The Ryzen 5 is a decent enough little processor for a mini PC. It's not all singing, all dancing, but it does. It works. But I certainly wouldn't rely on it as a main computer. Whenever there's better levels of hardware out there, so it is more like using a calculator as a calculator rather than trying to shoehorn on Fortnite onto a calculator, because it's gonna struggle. So if you've got a couple of mini PCs knocking about, think of some of the services that you have running on your computer that you use day and daily, like backing up or something like that.
I'm not doing anything though. I'm not doing anything with them. They're bare bones. I've stripped out Windows, and all it's doing is running Linux Mint. And both of those boxes don't do it very well. Whereas my Acer Swift 5 laptop, as soon as I put Linux Mint onto that, which is not, it's an i5 7200U chipset, so it's not much better in those terms because it's old than certainly the Geekom, but it runs everything totally smoothly, whereas the little boxes, both of my little boxes, just don't. And all they're doing is running Linux Mint, nothing else.
Which version of Linux Mint?
Cinnamon.
The Okay, well that is more designed for a full desktop, but I'm not entirely sure. Maybe it's just not fully up to date or something. I did need to sit down and look at it to be able
Okay.
to work out exactly
Okay.
why it's running so slowly. But I'm not running Linux Mint. I decided not to run Linux Mint on the boss game because it it's not that strong of a platform to be able to handle Linux Mint as Linux Mint rivals Windows 11. You know, it's that kind of level of well honed, well made operating system.
Hmm.
And it runs better. I even thought about maybe putting Bazite on it because I kind of want to play with Bazite, but I might look at getting another of these, maybe a slightly bigger, better one. But for a PC that costs £170, I can't imagine that I'm going to be able to load on the latest and greatest operating system and have a wonderful experience with it. No, that's why I went with Xubuntu.
Right. Okay.
Anyway, yeah, it's a nice looking little device. It sits in the corner and bees all quiet. I put my fingers down the back and it's running really cool. There's a bit of cold air coming out of it, so I'm dead chuffed with that. I really am, and I don't want to tax it. I don't want to do too much uh, to make it struggle like my Synology was. And I've noticed going back to my Synology now, I click on things and things happen faster because it's not having to host those systems anymore. So yeah, it can do what it does best, which is be an ass.
Hmm.
But it still does have some services running on it, which I'm debating whether or not to move stuff across. Get to play. That's the exciting thing. But if you have a look at Casa, it's a nice interface and it does a few nice things. It does a few frustrating things as well that it doesn't have that level of sophistication on it. But then it's very lightweight so that you get optimal performance out of the device, and everything that's crucial to it is there. And otherwise, you have to use the terminal for everything else.
Sure.
So there you go.
Very
That's
nice.
my boss game. Shall update if I do anything exciting with it in the future.
Okay.
All right, bargain basement where things are nice and cheap. And we're going to start out with something that I have on its way to me. I haven't got it yet. I had hoped that I would, but this is Northern Ireland and next day delivery means a week later. This is the Ugreen USB-C hub. It's a Revo dock multi-port adapter 7-in-1. It's got USB Type-C to HDMI splitter with a 4K display, 100-watt power delivery, 3 times 5 gigabyte USB-A's and USB-C ports, SD and transflash card reader, USB-C dongle for MacBook, laptop and iPad. It's just another one of those little hubs that you can plug into things and be able to plug more things into your devices. I have one of these USB or Ugreen ones, and I have another one by what is that? Quack QACQOC, which was really expensive, I think, whenever it first came out, and they sent me to review, and I was dead chuffed with it. But it's crap now compared to what Ugreen's doing for £12.34.
Wow.
And I'm dead chuffed with this because I think about the price of these that they used to be, especially with a 100-watt power delivery. And yeah, this powers your device, puts the signal out to your screen, can take your mouse, keyboard, and SD cards and things like that, and just use it. It's great. Love these. Do you have any of these?
Yeah, yeah. Over the years, I've kind of got a collection of them, but probably the same as you. Not anything bang up to date. So mine wouldn't have 100-watt pass-through power, for example. Yeah, it's the sort of thing you just collect, and they get binned when they're a bit out of date. For £12 though, you can afford to update them, can't you?
Yeah. I'm dead chuffed with it. I'm looking forward to it. What's
Very
next?
nice. The aforementioned Honor 400 Pro is currently £560 from 699, and that's mainstream Amazon stock as well. As I said, I'm using the 400 Pro at the moment, and there's a lot to like about it, and it's for what you get, 560 quid is just bonkers. It's so
Yeah.
cheap. It's really, really good. And also that the Poco F7 Ultra from last week, that is still down in price, and it's reduced a bit more. That's 560 as well. So two really bonkers good phones there for 560 quid. The Chinese seem to know how to do it.
Yeah, they're both good looking phones. I like that Honor 400. The camera island on that is quite striking. It
Yeah.
is similar to others, but it's just that extra little bit of flare that sticks out the side that
Oh
says the
look,
200
it's
megapixel.
it's 550 now. That's
Yeah,
gone.
549.
That's a 10 less.
Oh, ah,
Brilliant. They keep going down.
they do. They do. At this rate, they'll be giving them away. Have to check back tomorrow.
Yes.
Give you £500 to take it.
More on the Honor 400 Pro though on PSC tomorrow.
Cool, cool. Look forward to that. All right, next up is a screen. If you bought the one from last week, you might be a bit pissed to realise that Koorui, Koorui, are doing a 34-inch ultra-wide curved monitor, which is 165 hertz, WQHD, 1440p. It's got 1000R. That's the curvature, isn't it? 1000.
No idea.
An MPRT of 1 millisecond. It's HDR 400. It's got two HDMI 2.0s on the back and one display port, 1.4. It's got adaptive sync, very nice, and it's got the tilt and height adjustable thingy on it as well. It's black. It's down in price. No, it's not. It's wait, hang on a second. Yeah, it's only 200 quid. That's the starting price. And actually, I'm being offered a payment plan of £40 over the next 5 months on it.
Yeah, me too.
That's lovely.
Hmm.
21 point by 9 ultra wide. Yeah.
It is reduced because it's been on sale for 309 quid. So even
But
though
that
it
was for
doesn't.
one day.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah. But no, it was originally £230, but it doesn't seem to be showing that it's down
No.
to 200
No.
quid.
No. Anyway, yeah,
But
very nice.
it's got good
You'll be
reviews,
offering refunds to those who bought your suggestion last week.
Well, you can use them both together. You can use that other one for hooking up to a wee budget PC that's running all your services. And then you can get one of this and play, what's a modern game? Doom 2. No, Doom 3 on it. And it'll be amazing.
Very nice indeed. Now, you're going to like this one because I know you like this sort of stuff. It's a tower extension lead, which has got a 10-foot long lead and 8 3-pin outlets on it and 4 USB ports, one of them USB-C as well, surge protection, 4 independent switches for the faces of them, 17-watt USB-C port, which is not a huge amount, but it's okay. And that's been reduced from 30 quid to 20 quid. And also, link in the show notes to one that's not in the tower shape. It looks like it's exactly the same, even though it's a different make, but it's the same price, and it looks to me as though it's just the tower one on its side, but yeah, different manufacturer by the looks of it. But yeah, I like the tower one myself, and I think you will.
Yeah, the tower one has space for 4 plugs, is it? Whereas that
8.
Oh, is it 8? It goes the whole way round?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh. Whereas that the other one that you've linked to does 6, or is it
Oh,
3?
right, okay.
I
It's
don't
not.
know.
Then it's not exactly the same. Oh yeah, you're right. It's 6 and not 8. Yes, quite right.
But it has 4 USBs, 4 USB A's, and then 1 USB C.
Right.
Whereas the tower one only has 3 USB A's and 1 USB C.
Very, very confusing. I prefer
Yeah.
the tower one.
I think I've put it in my basket because I did buy one quite recently, and then my wife took it, which annoyed me greatly because I'd spent a bit of time looking at them, and I came up with one, and I can't. There it is now. Purchased May, which is by Hanny Connie, I think it is. But it had 8 plugs with 2 switches and 3 USBs and 1 USB-C. I quite liked it, and I was about to use it and noticed it was gone. So I need to buy the tower now, and then I'll swap it out for the one she has downstairs.
And if you pay another £2, you can get a 5-metre lead instead of a 3-metre lead. So there's that as well.
Yeah.
I might get one of these because it would tidy up my desk. I quite fancy it.
Yes, I have a tower one actually upstairs in Austin's bedroom where he uses his computer, and it is quite tidy, but you have to work on it to keep it tidy.
Yeah.
I don't think they make things any tidier. It's just, it's a different way of arranging plugs so they don't look as bad if you're lucky. Right, next up is the Thermalright Peerless Assassin 120 Digital White CPU Air Cooler. This is down,
the Peerless Assassin.
Yeah. This is down in price from £38 to £30 and 32p. This is just a cooler for your processor. It's got it's a double cooler thing, so there's 2 fans with 2 areas of heatsink, but on the top it's got a little what is it? Is it OLED or LED? I'm not sure, but there's a display that shows your CPU and GPU temperatures and utilization. So your CPU could be reading at 26 degrees C, and your utilization could be 23%, and it shows those. So if you've got a cutout or a glass side to your case, you can see exactly what your computer's doing whenever you boot up the aforementioned Doom 3 on your big display thingy. I like these. They're kind of nice. It's not an AIO, but it's a lot cheaper than an AIO, that's for sure. So down to £30, and if white is your bag, then this be it, baby.
As long as I hadn't worked out that, of course, you can't see it unless you've got a glass case, and there's no point in having a nice white one if you can't see it.
Well, that's very true, yes. But RGB inside your case is all the rage at the moment, and this one has a practical use to it as well, so it makes it a wee bit better for most people.
Very good indeed. Very nice indeed. Elgato Stream Deck XL, the 32 key one, which is in front of me and I use day in, day out, is down from 230 to 160, and the one that you fancied a while back, which was the Elgato Stream Deck Plus, which was reduced in white but not in black, is now reduced in black as well from 200 to 160. So the Stream Deck XL and the Stream Deck Plus are both 160 quid each, and I highly recommend the Deck XL. I haven't got a Deck Plus. Are you going to get a Deck Plus?
I'm considering it, especially since I'm been offered £32 a month for 5 months. Which is a tempting offer there, very tempting.
Yeah, very nice.
Amazon seemed to be quite aggressive with this at the moment. I wasn't getting any of them up until quite recently, and I still haven't given them my credit card, so don't know what it is. Maybe I was in purgatory or something like that. Don't know why. Okay, the last one is a little thing that I have also coming with that Ugreen dongle thing. This is a little set of speakers that I thought, right, because I'm currently redoing my room, and I've got a TV beside me that I have all of my little mini consoles on, the Spectrum and the Commodore and stuff like that, the Atari, but the speakers on it are a bit cack, and I just thought, well, I'll try these because they're worth trying given the price. These are the Amazon Basics Bluetooth and USB computer speakers. Just realizing that might not work as well as I had imagined. Never mind, I'll talk to you in a second after I've introduced the unit. USB computer speakers with blue lightning. They're actually kind of a striking shape, these. They cost £13.99. They're 2 tiny little dome-style speakers with a cable attached to them with like a remote control-y type thing that you could slide across the desk and do volume up, volume down, change the source, and turn on and off the blue LED lightning thing that's on them. And also there's a headphone socket on that Wii remote control as well, so you can plug in your headphones to it and listen to games at night if you're playing your Commodore or Spectrum that way.
Mm-hmm.
However,
I like that little controller. That's really nifty.
yeah, they're kind of fun whenever you get those, and I just think the headphone jack was the icing on the cake for it, because if it didn't have that, I probably would have glanced past them, but it's there, so if I want to just hear those beeps and bops through my headphones, I can just plug in.
Cool.
But I don't know how well it's going to work now, I'm thinking, because they're computer speakers as opposed to TV speakers, so I don't think that if I plug the USB from this into the USB on the back of the TV, it's going to work, is it? I'm being a knob,
going to
aren't I?
be USB in on the TV and not out.
Yeah, yeah. So I might not be as excited about these as I was when I first put the order in. But it's not even that it comes with a headphone jack or anything, or 3.5 millimeter connector. It's Bluetooth or USB. Well.
This is another one that's not showing that it's been reduced, but clearly it has, because the price was $26.99 and it's it's less than that now. But up the top there, they're not showing that reduction. It's odd.
It is, yeah. It's quite bizarre. But if you have a look at the user pictures on them, I think they look really smart compared to just your typical speakers. That the wee bit of blue to them, and the particular shape of them, because they're ovular, they're not round. They just I do actually quite like them. I hope they're really good. I will give them a good shake, see whether or not they are good. I'm just noticing there's another one here actually that Amazon Basic Speaker 2.0 speakers. Ah, right, okay. There's another set. They're £16 and 57p. They don't have that little remote control type thing.
Oh.
And they're USB, and they've got a 3.5 millimeter on them, so that would have been better. Oh, damn.
You could plug them in then.
Yes. Pants.
You can send it back. It's Amazon.
For 13 quid, I'm not going to. I'll probably find a use for them somewhere along the lines. They're
Right.
not the most offensive things in the world. They can sit over in the corner until such time as I've got somewhere to plug them in.
Oh yeah, 1657. I see that. That's what you should have ordered.
I just got excited by the design and went, ooh, actually the grey ones look nice. Oh, right, okay. Grey ones it is then. They're £14 and 24p. Yep, having those.
There's an inline controller. There's a picture of somebody holding some sort of inline controller there.
Yeah, but that's like those really cheap ones that you get on headphones with a volume thing built into your headphone strap on a $2.99 pair of headphones. No, those grey ones look lovely.
Okay.
Yeah, they're cool. Well cool. Right, having those.
Jolly good.
Okay, that's the last bargain, and we're sitting at 1 hour and 12-ish minutes. Okay, well, we'll bring it to an end there, and that's the end of the season. We'll be back in October.
Hurrah!
September, October. Yes, for another round of tech news and things like that. So you should hear from us around about the 5th of October or so for 4 episodes.
Season
It's worked out
5.
quite nicely. Yeah, dead exciting. So in the meantime, do take care of yourselves, and if you have any questions or queries or anything you want us to feature on the next show, do let us know. You can do by emailing us at gareth@techaddicts.uk. There's also Tech Addicts on Twitter, at Tech Addicts UK, or X as it's called. You can find me on Twitter at Gareth Miles, GarethMyles. I have a Mastodon and Blue Sky. There's a MeWe group. I've got my GarethMiles.com as well if you get lost. Ted, what about you? Where can they find you?
I've got my tedsalmon.com if you get lost. Everything is there, all my links. MeWe is where I hang out mostly. But actually, just recently, I've been using Reddit quite a lot more, I've noticed. And yeah, I've got into some conversations over there when I've got nothing going on MeWe. But anyway, if you want to buy me a coffee, it's at paypal.me/Ted Salmon, and I'll be very grateful. Otherwise, yes, tedsalmon.com.
Cool, cool. Well, that about brings us to the end. So have a lovely September, and we'll speak to you in October. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.